Hi guys, it's Mary McIntyre. Welcome back to my channel. This video is part of the open collab with Claire's Crafty Corner. Thank you so much, Claire, for doing this Halloween collaboration. I always love taking part in the Halloween ones of these collabs. Now, in my channel a couple of videos ago, I made a skull using the Resin skull mould. I did that in white with some kind of interference powders that gave it a subtle glow. This one is not going to be subtle. For this one, I want to use these chrome powders that I bought a while ago. You may remember, if you're a subscriber, that I made this absolutely gorgeous dragonfly using those powders. So I want to go with something like this. Now, normally to get the real mirror shine, you really buff that pigment in. It's flakes and you need to buff them in. But I really like it where the colours overlap. You get this kind of slightly unmixed effect where you get the flakes kind of individual colours showing through. So I actually really like the way that they blend rather than having a harsh edge. So for the skull in particular, I want to kind of dot the stuff on and have a little bit of overlap. So when I buff it in, there will be some areas that are kind of mirror, some of them that have got that mottled effect, but with some black still showing through. I don't want it to be a solid chrome skull, if that makes sense. But as well as the skull, I'm going to make another of these pumpkins. I made a lidded pumpkin pot last year. It was meant to be a kind of smoky purple, black and clear, but it ended up being primarily purple. It's gorgeous though. It's a really nice pot. So I'm going to make one of those, and I'm going to mix up enough resin so that if there's a little bit left over, I can make another solid pumpkin, which is that size. I made this using the Resin colour shifting chameleon powders last year. So that's my plan. So with this one, I was thinking about doing a different colour for each segment of the pumpkin, but again with that mottled kind of effect. But I'll see how I get on with those powders. I've also got out these Opal flakes from Just For You online, and they are absolutely stunning as well with black, and I used those in my last video. So at last video, when did I use those? I've used those in something recently. I can't actually remember what it was now. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to be using the Vista Ocean deep pour resin. This resin is almost certainly expired by now, but it worked in my last video. Now this is a hunker chunk of a mould. It holds about 300 ml of resin, which is a lot of resin. Because it's black, I could actually pack that out with old projects that didn't work that I've kept, because it would bulk it out a bit, or I could put some glass chips or something in there. But I'm not going to do that because this resin does need used up, so I'm worried about anything sinking and showing through, so I'm not going to worry about that. So yeah, I'm going to just start off by buffing some of these powders in first, and then I will mix up my resin off camera, obviously with my PPE on, and then I can pour. So I'm going to be mixing up 600 ml of resin in total. Part A you need 2 parts of, part B you need 1, so that will be 400 ml of part A, 200 ml of part B, to give me a total of 600 ml of resin. That should be about right for these 3 projects, but I've got other moulds handy just in case. Let's get on. I'm going to time lapse and blob these colours on, and I'm very excited to see how this one turns out. Let's get started. Okay, I've used the Just For You Online Chameleon Flakes in Opal Flakes, sorry, in 2 colours there. The pumpkin, the lid's looking gorgeous already. I've used all of that, and I've used all of the colours in the skull and made sure that I've left gaps for some black to show through. So I'm going to go mix up my resin. It's a big quantity, so I'm going to time it and mix it up for at least 5 minutes so that I can know it's thoroughly integrated. Put the Vista liquid black pigment in there, and then I'll be back to pour. About to put my gloves and respirator on. Please protect your lungs if you're using epoxy resin. Right, I'm excited. I can't wait to see how these turn out. Yeah, I've got my respirator on, so sorry that I'm muffled, but I had a disaster there. This lid has a hole in it. I looked down, there's a little puddle, and I thought it was from where I'd hit it with the heat gun. And I was like, oh, I don't remember that spilling over, so I wiped it up, carried on checking for bubbles, looked down, there's another puddle starting to form, and it was starting to drip over the edge. So I didn't have time to mess around doing alternating colours. I just grabbed the kind of goldy orange one, did the leaf and stalk. The rest of it has just been done in a blue purple colour shift, and that's going to have to do. The resin was literally pouring out as I did it, so I had to do it really quickly and just transfer all the resin into here. So all that pigment wasted, which I'm really gutted about, but that lid's kind of next to useless because the hole is right there, and you need this little bit sticking up for the lid to kind of sit properly on top of the pumpkin and not just slide straight off. So I have 2 pumpkin moulds, luckily, and 1 functional lid, which is very annoying, but at least I spotted it because this resin takes so long to cure. I could very easily have just walked away and not come back till tomorrow morning, and the whole lot could have dripped out and off the table. So oh, phew. And I had enough resin to just pour a small pumpkin, which I don't believe has any pigment in there, but if it doesn't, I'll just hit it with some gilding wax. Right, I'm going to go to bed, and I'll be back in a couple of days to demould. Yeah, I'm back. It's been 48 hours pretty much exactly since I poured these. So I'm going to do these little extra pumpkins first. They were just bonus stuff. That was the black one that I was going to hit with the gilding wax to add to my collection. This one did have some powders in. I think this was a Let's Resin Chameleon that I put in. Oh, that's gorgeous. It's so pretty. It's kind of a... I honestly, I'm going to have to watch the video back. I can't remember what I actually put in this mould. the colour shift is insane. It's going through so many colours. That's wild. That's absolutely beautiful. I'm seeing green, purple, blue, gold. That is absolutely stunning. He's just black at the moment, but the gilding wax will pick up all of the ridged texture on him. So yeah, they're pretty. I'm going to do the lid first. I was disappointed that I didn't have time because of the leaking resin for me to redo what I'd tried to do with the first lid. So this is just 2 colours, so hopefully it won't clash with the pumpkin itself. It's pretty gorgeous though. So the amount of colour shift in these chrome powders, they're just unbelievable. The amount of colour that you get is just mad. These are nail powders and they'd be amazing to have on your nails. I'm looking forward to seeing what the pumpkin has turned out like. That is insanely beautiful. Wow. It was worth the time it took to get all those powders on there. That is insane. Wow. Wow. And the lid's fine on there. It's very galaxy, which is kind of what I had in my head. Oh, that is gorgeous. Obviously I'll bring you down for a close-up of these. So if that has turned out like that, hopefully my skull is going to have turned out very similarly. So let's have a look. Oh, it's great when you have a plan in your head and the demold and you actually get what you was trying to go for, because resin so often does its own thing and you don't get that. Yes, that is what my brain was thinking when I came up with this plan. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. Wow, I love it so much. It looks like an oil slick, but it's got all of that little kind of dotty, pigmenty stuff in there, which is what I was trying to explain in the intro that I wanted to go for. I'm so happy. Now there's a little bit of stuff that needs to just get trimmed off here, so I'll do that and then I'll bring you down for a close-up. Okay, here we have the pumpkins. So I just quickly did a little bit of gilding wax. I used the Pabeo gold gilding wax on that to just pick up some of that texture. It's very small, but that's really, really pretty. Very classy looking pumpkin. This guy, the colour shift is just incredible. I'll see if I can catch it all on camera. Look at the difference when you tilt it. It's just mad. All the texture and the shapes on this mean that you're seeing all of those colours, and that is so, so pretty. It's a shame. In any other video this would have been like the star of the video, but this was just an extra one, and compared to how gorgeous the other two things are, this is kind of in the background. So let me grab the other pumpkin pot for you. Okay, I am so in love with this. I'm glad I went with that colour on the leaf. This is the colour, it's different from any other that I have. It kind of colour shifts from a greenish gold through to a kind of orangey peach colour. But the sides, the colours on the sides, they're just gorgeous. And this is what I was talking about the speckles. I really wanted that. It makes it look very galaxy. It's very spacey. It looks like a deep space nebula with loads of stars around it. And it's just incredible, because that's what my brain was picturing when I was putting the pigment on. And I wanted a few areas where it had been really burnished out to give you the chrome, but I primarily wanted it to look a bit of a hodgepodge of those different colours. And it's like you get those pops of chrome, but then you get all of this speckled galaxy stuff. I love it so much, and I don't mind that the lid isn't mirroring those colours. I'd prefer it if they did match, which is what I spent ages doing before the leak, but I'm still okay with this. This lid still looks gorgeous. But let's get the skull. Fully in love with the skull. Look at that. No words. No words. I love him so much. It's so different from the one I made a couple of videos ago, which was white with that very subtle hint of pastel colours. There's no subtlety here. This is fully galaxy skull, and I am absolutely here for it. It's just amazing. Those colour shifting chrome nail powders are so unique, and they just give you this, and I love them so much. They were very inexpensive, got them from Amazon, and I really love them. So massive thanks once again to Claire for organising this fantastic Halloween collaboration 2025. The hashtag, follow that on Instagram to see stuff over there. Playlist on YouTube is in my description box, so please go and check that out and give some support and some love to the other creators that have joined in. Have a lovely Halloween, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.